Any questions about anything before we get going? Anything missing? I guess I'll talk more about some other things. How's your project going, Robert, with that one thing you were doing?
It's moving. I found the data set, added a little bit, and kind of took out everything that wasn't relevant. But then I couldn't change the attribute table because the ad.
It's still not happening?
Well, I had my GIS class Tuesday night. Dr. Wilson did something.
Yeah.
And like copy pasted the attribute table in an Excel file and then put that data in there and the ad buttons up.
Okay. Was it not readable? Was it one of those deals where what do they call that?
It was like read only.
Yeah, read only. Yeah, Microsoft Word, read only. Yeah, okay.
That's what he said. He said he had never seen anything.
And all it was a copy paste into an Excel.
And then reintroduce that data into like another layout.
Okay. Note to self. All right.
So yeah, I'll have that done this week.
Great. Awesome.
I mean, it's literally now just exactly the same thing as the crane.
Yeah, the cranes turned out great. The ones that I all got were awesome. Very happy with that. That was a great. That was a project I created this semester. Yeah, most of these have been new this semester. In exercise 9, which is out in the ether, it's due this weekend. Don't think I've had any turned in yet. So I'm kind of nervous, okay? But it's pretty straightforward. And it's a 10-minute video with me talking. So, I mean, not saying it's going to take that long, but I mean, it's not like it's, it's do this, do that, do this, do that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But you obviously need exercise 2, which is the one problem. If you don't have exercise 2 saved, you have to almost redo it, but that shouldn't be a problem either now that we're real well trained. Exercise 10 requires QGIS, and so I have to download this. So QGIS used to be on all the computers all over. Now they're not. But that gives us an opportunity to let's do it live. Let's do it on camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this. I downloaded it over here onto my machine, which I forgot to close out, and I got an incident report because of it. Anyhow, my bad. Skip it. And so I'm just following the instructions, downloading it. So you can do this too. So what we're doing is QGIS is an alternative to ArcGIS. It's free. It's open source. And so when you leave the friendly confines of IU Indy, you also leave the ability to have ArcGIS Pro. So here's a good opportunity to introduce you to something in which you can use it for free. And it's more or less the same as ArcGIS Pro. But it does have some differences. So we're going to replicate a previous assignment, essentially, that we did this earlier in the semester, but just do it with QGIS. And so we're just going to, introduce us to different nomenclature, different buttons. Click here, click there, do this, don't do that. And so it's just another way to broaden your cartographic abilities. So I hope by the end of this semester, whenever you apply for an internship, a job, whatever, you write, I am fluent enough. I'm familiar with ArcGIS Pro and Esri, and I also have dabbled or some experience with QGIS. That's just one more thing that helps to separate you from the rest. And so that's what our objective here is with this exercise 10. And it's very simple. But we have to, in this case, download it, and then that's a process. So I just downloaded it, and it went up here, and it's got this OSGOW2 set up. And if I go back, I guess it's already gone, but you had different options, and that's where I'm not great when it comes to different devices. Do this, do that. But in every device I've come across and used QGIS, I've done that first one that I clipped when I did mine. I do the express install for in terms of to do exercise 10, which I did last night. I just did the express install, and you'll have a few of these situations where you have to do follow instructions. I did the top one. Next, QGIS. You can do them all if you want, and then you have all kinds of stuff that you can do there, I guess. And then okay, then make sure that's checked. Next, and then you'll have a few of these. I agree. I agree. Okay. I mean, if you just did your taxes, you're good with that. You've been doing a lot of that. Don't get me started on my taxes. After you turn 30, it's not the same. Before, yeah, taxes are great. Refund, 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 easy. It's even called the 1040 easy document. Then you turn 30, you can get a house, get married, kids. Dun 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 dun. All right, so that's downloading. While that's happening, I'm going to talk about course stuff. All right, so just a friendly reminder that Project 2 is out there for graduate students. There's 2 options for undergraduates, 1 option just like it was for Project 1. I don't know if I went over this beforehand, but I'm going to go through each of these just real quickly, each of these options. First on the map animation, so that's essentially just replicating the crane, but for something else. And it could be your time series map of your GPS of your movements throughout a day. Could be cranes, not cranes, I should say. Maybe it could be Western whooping cranes, maybe sure, but just not Eastern whooping cranes. That's option 1. Option 2 is replicating exercise 9 with a different data set. So that's shouldn't be too terribly hard. Option 3 is if you're kind of done making maps, you're kind of over it. Well, you're good. Now you just make a video talking about all the stuff you did. Kind of, what people are going to learn for spring 2026 when this course is offered. So it's a video, just kind of, however you want to do it. But all of these, make sure you just kind of tell me what's up. So I at least have an idea of what to expect come Thursday, May 1st at noon. Option 4, choose your own adventure. So it's any exercise we've done prior, want to recreate it, do something different techniques, different data, go for it. And then going back to our Project 1, just replicating something from Project 1, but just doing something different. So if you did Antarctica, this time do Africa. If you did Connecticut, this time do a different state, Florida. So that's just do something different from Project 1. All right, so those are the options. Any questions there? And if you have an idea that you want to talk to me about, if you haven't already, feel free to shoot me after we're done here. No, not shoot me, talk to me, I should say. Shouldn't say that. Woo. All right, where are we at now? Let's talk about discussion 4. Just a few of you out there that have not completed that. Discussion 4, I thought it was already due. So I started grading a few of them and giving people zeros. So I've since deleted those, realizing it's actually due on Sunday. So this is discussion 4. And that's just kind of a deeper thinking question. Gives us time to think about something else. And I don't know, it's something I thought about last summer. And here it is. All right, so that's discussion 4. Make sure you get that done. Exercise 9, like I said, it's out there. It's very straightforward. The Clickology is a YouTube video of me showing you how to do it. It's 11 minutes long. But if you have any questions about this, any hiccups, make sure you get a hold of me. And then this is just essentially taking a map and making it so that a user on the web can easily use it and understand it and play with it and do stuff with it. That's all it is. Do I have an example? No, I don't have an example. All right. And then online lecture 10. So online lecture 10, there is no more new content, but there is a quiz 10 and an exercise 10. The quiz 10, it's confusing. I apologize about this. But quiz 10, all it is the quiz that should have been way back when on quiz 7. If you remember quiz 7, I came in here and I was informed that, well, there's no questions there. And so I just deleted it, essentially gave everyone 10 out of 10. Well, that content comes back up here at the very end. So that's all that is just quiz 7, postponed to now. So I don't want to confuse you too much. Exercise 10 is completely unrelated to online lecture 7. And exercise 10 is the focus of today's demonstration. Quiz 10, like I said, this is my view, but it's due Sunday, April 27th, and it covers online lecture 7. You're allowed 2 attempts, unlimited time, and there's probably, I think, there's 5 questions out of a bank of 20. Care about those things? How are we doing with our download? Still working on it. Okay. Any more I can talk about? Lastly, a bevy of you did not do quiz 8. So I don't know what happened there. So I've gone in and given everyone one more chance on quiz 8. So that's about half of the class did not do quiz 8. So I'm giving one more attempt on quiz 8. So I don't know, people watch these videos or whatnot, but hopefully if they do, that helps them out. Perfect timing, finish. All right, let's open this up. We in here, QGIS now? There we are. QGIS desktop 3.42.1 is the most recent. Like I said, this is free. This is open source. So it's another alternative and a useful one for post IU life. All right, so I'm going to follow along on the exercise 10. Okay. All right, so we're going to make a map. So we have to download data, and the data's got a state's shapefile, a county's shapefile, Indiana County shapefile, and an Indiana road shapefile. So all shapefiles that earlier in the semester we were overdosing on. We're doing all the time. We're messing with these all the time. So I'm going to download this to our desktop. And in this case, I don't have to unzip. So in their world, you don't have to unzip. Where in Esri ArcGIS, you do. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions. Okay, here's the requirements. I'll come back to the requirements. Open QGIS, done that. Add the states, counties, and roads shapefiles. To do this, navigate to the zipped folder in the browser pane. So that's over here. And that's kind of, this is the default view. I didn't do anything different here. And then once we locate them, so I gotta go find them. So was it home? I think is where I kept him. Desktop. So once again, no matter where we are, what QGIS, ArcGIS, a lot of it is just an exercise in remembering where our files are. So what was it, the exercise 10 data right there, that's the one. I want. And then I hit that triangle, and you'll see more of them. But if I undo that triangle, that's fine. I'll just drag this whole file just into the layers. And it has this pop-up. Sure. Yep, add them. And then you get these. Every time, in this case, for this data and this exercise, okay, all that's good. So the default, in your own research, your own stuff, you'd want to take the time to look at that a little bit more closely. What you can do is over here in the layers, just kind of drag them in terms of which ones you want on top, which ones you want. And that's kind of, logically you'd want them to be in a certain order. You wouldn't want to cover up the roads behind the states. And so that's how you do that here is you just drag them around like that. All right. So in terms of selecting the data, we want to filter the data. We want just certain amounts, just kind of like how we did in ArcGIS, how we just want to select certain attributes, certain data. And so we can do that same thing, but using a little bit different terminology, a little different verbiage. So this is the query builder, as they call it. So let's find that. So organize the layers, and so you can do it however you want. Now let's go to the U.S. county layer. So which one's the U.S. county? I'll make this bigger so that's recognizable. The U.S. counties layer, as the name implies there. Right-click. And this is a change from the old QGIS being the one year ago, was you'd have to go to properties and filter. Now filter's right here. So you go to filter, and then here's where we build our query, and we talk it out. Let's talk it out logically. Oh, okay. They're going to make me do this. How do I? Let's do. That one. Okay. So I want state is equal to Illinois or Kentucky. So I'm getting all the neighboring states. So that's what it's asking me to do here. So I have to get state. It was Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, and Ohio. So state equals, too many equals. And then on the values, do all. That way they all come over here. And we'll start with alphabetically. Was it Illinois? I tell my kids it's Illinois just because they're at the age where I'm trying to teach them how to spell it. So if you hear me say that, I'm a professional geographer. I know what I'm doing. State equals Illinois, or the state equals Kentucky, or the state equals Michigan, or state equals Ohio. And I think my box is probably down here where I want to hit, yeah. Okay. So a little different verbiage here. And this is where, once again, the difference is, but there are a lot of the same things. You can do the same things here that you could have done in ArcGIS Pro. It's just, a little different. Hit OK. And there it is. Got that. All right. Now let's look at some other terms and stuff. Let's look at symbology and labels, how they do it here in QGIS. And this is another thing where, once again, with it being open source and all of that, it does get improved a lot as well. So there have been improvements in labeling. All right, so to do that, this is where we go then to properties. So find your particular data. So let's do Indiana counties. We'll have that one since we love labeling Indiana counties by now. It's our favorite thing. All right, label, go properties. And we can change the symbology of the, we'll do labels first. Labels. So that's the tab over here, labels. And make sure then you go up to the top where it says no labels. We want to change that. And here's where you can do different things. There's rule-based, and that's similar to how ArcGIS has certain rules, certain ideas. But this is what I kind of found, exciting about QGIS and its upgrades is I did single labels, and a lot of the defaults is the stuff that kind of I've already been talking about, kind of italicized water bodies, do them in blue. So these are things that used to be you have to do yourself, and in the case of QGIS, well, the default for those things are already given for you. So that's what's nice. So we can definitely apply a lot of the same concepts from earlier regarding buffers, masks, shadows, backgrounds. Change the formatting. It's very user friendly, and like I said, has improved considerably over time. So that's labeling. So we'll go ahead and I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm just going to hit OK. All right, there they all are. And so obviously that's not bad, but we would want to somehow play around with that. These here and get to nice scale. It looks like everything fits in there, but so that's different than ArcGIS Pro's. ArcGIS Pro, those labels are kind of fixed, where here, as you zoom in, they do change their size. But that isn't a big part of this exercise, just letting you know. All right, let's go look at some symbology as far as the states, properties. And here's where you can then change the fill. And you have the nice color wheels. And so this is using a lot of that stuff from way back when, the color chapter. So you can do it that way using kind of the scientific ways. Also doing the various RGB, HSV. So doing all the various tricks to get to the colors you need. And this stuff isn't really too important. I don't know how much I mentioned this, but like if you're working for an organization, like let's say IU, they have certain colors they have to use. And it's like kind of that's their deal. So you have to find their particular HTML, their particular, I'm sure crimson is a certain one because we kicked out Purdue, remember? So we no longer have gold in our colors. So we're like now, I think strictly whatever Bloomington is. So we're cream and crimson. So we'd have to change that to whatever they are now since we are whatever they are. How's plasma look? I love plasma. I'm sorry. I just think that's cool. I don't know. So there's plasma. All right. So now that's stuff that lets you just get creative, do it as much as you want or as little as you want. It's just merely just trying to satisfy the objectives of the assignment at the same time learning this other mapping to program. All right, let's get this ready to roll as far as publish it. Okay, so they have a layout view, a kind of layout thing as well. So we're going to go to project. Layout, was it layout manager? So you picked up a manager along the way here. So hopefully they don't charge us. And then create. And so this is where we'll give it a nice creative title. All right. Zoomer in. Add item. So that's where you can add the map. You can add the north arrow. You can add the legend, the scale, add text in terms of who you are, credits, all that. So all of that stuff is done here by doing the add item. You can actually also find those, and I'm going to tell you, this is what they have better than ArcGIS Pro, is this kind of stuff as well. I mean, all that stuff is available over here. Now, I've kind of mentioned this numerous times. I mean, ArcGIS Pro is, I mean, they are the industry standard by a ton. I mean, it's, if all of a sudden ArcGIS Pro shut down, entire cities would collapse. I kid you not, because they are all hooked up to logistics in terms of measuring flow and dynamics. I mean, it's crazy. Stoplights in Australia would be affected. So it's crazy as far as how important ArcGIS Pro is, but eventually they're not going to be the one sole dominant player. Eventually, Microsoft, Google, whatever X is, will eventually be a competitor. But for now, that's what we got. So QGIS is a nice alternative because it's free. All right, enough of that. I think I've mentioned that a few different times as far as it's a monopoly, but whatever. Let's get it for layout and export this sucker. So then we finally go up to layout. And here is where you can export it as an image or as what we want for this particular assignment, a PDF. And that's what you send to me. And your commentary, your reflection is just kind of what your thoughts and the differences. And what could you maybe do with it if you could? Questions, comments, concerns? That's exercise 10. I kind of tried to go easy on it because I started to see the attrition level starting to fade, and it is that time of year anyhow. So hopefully it isn't too terribly hard. Like I said, hopefully exercise 9 isn't too terribly hard either. So I'm here as long as you want. I got nowhere to go, no meetings that I have to go to, whatever you need me for. Oh.
I have a question. Actually, no, you answered this question before.
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh.
I appreciate it.
Go. If you ask it again, then
Okay.
go on.
Can you take off? See, I think you answered this before. We talked about editing base maps before. You can't just take off their labels, can you? Easily? Probably not.
Let's look at how we can do that. So ArcGIS Pro. So that's, yeah, let's see.
Because I think it would be the same thing that we talked about last time. Where it was
Yeah. What? Got sign in now? All right. So as I follow it, it's so like the Esri based maps that are provided.
Yeah.
Is there a way to remove the labels?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are we going to let me in or not? Open it. Yeah. Definitely. There we go. Okay. Just get me to any map. All right. So let's say hypothetically, could I remove these labels? Is that kind of,
Yeah.
or let's go to a different, let's go to maybe a better, a different basement. There's certain one that
I was looking at the antique one, and it was like,
modern antique.
yeah, I liked it, but it was like I wanted only certain labels. I didn't need that many.
Okay, so there's probably, all right. So let's see. Modern antique properties. To just show layer between these. Right. Not looking optimistic
That's okay.
at now, but
It's probably like another one where you have to go out of X-ray.
visibility using. I don't think so. For
That's really okay. I appreciate you looking at it.
okay, so let's see. You can export a base map to a local feature class or geodatabase. There's potentially an option. Yeah. Huh. I don't know how I could export that though. Yeah. That might be the antique one, might be one that's not.
That's really
Yeah, so it could be a deal. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's probably makes sense because it's probably proprietary.
Yeah.
But my guess is what this just a couple more minutes. Let me try one more idea. Let's see what's in the portal. ArcGIS Online. What was it called? Antique map. Let's see if someone else's modern antique for developers. What does that mean? Vector. Yeah, let's call ourselves developers. Oh, come on. You probably didn't like that. I called herself a developer. But I wonder what, yeah, we'll see if this, because if it's a, well, if this doesn't work, then yeah, probably not. And it might not add it for, who knows, an hour. We don't know, but. Or do I need to do this? Thank you. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, modern antique, and no. Dang it. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Layer blending is another cool thing that I'd like to learn more about. Nope.
Okay, that's super cool. I appreciate you.
Apologize.
Because otherwise, I would have spent a lot of time.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, maybe an open